Hi Taurus, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol and this is going to be a general reading for you for June 2025. And in today's reading we're going to be doing a reading I've done once on this channel. It's called Moving Beyond Illusion. So when you clicked on the thumbnail, or if you notice right here on this little chart I have for you, that there's a dragonfly, and it's a picture that my daughter sent to me a while back, and when she first sent it to me, I didn't believe it was real. I thought it was, she said it was on a telephone pole, and I thought, ooh, I said, well, touch it then, and she's like, ooh, no, and that's when I realized it was real. And so that kind of thought, oh, you know, it brought up an idea to do this reading about what illusion or belief system do you have about yourself that you need to become aware of. And really, that's all that tarot is. Anything that I point out to you on this channel is things that you already know inside of you, but oftentimes we need reminders. And especially when I come to the shadow work part of this, which is part number 2, and I'll be looking at, you know, what's driving this belief system and what needs to be healed. So we're first going to look at what is the belief system, what's the false idea you have about yourself. And then we're going to look at the shadow aspect of it, like I said. And then we're going to look at how can you begin to heal the shadow aspect in you so that you can move forward and beyond this illusion, this belief that you have about yourself. And so in order to do it, I'm going to be do this reading. I'm going to be using the Curious Travels deck. And I'm going to be, for this particular reading, I like to choose decks that are a bit odd, right? And I always found that the Curious Travels Tarot deck was odd, but I loved it. I fell in love with it. It's probably my favorite deck. And then to clarify that, I'll be using the Rider-Waite, Radiant Rider-Waite. And then I'll be pulling an oracle card for you for the return of spirit, and we'll look at that at the end. So let's start off right now, Taurus, by asking, and I've pre-shuffled all these decks before I came on. I want to ask for what false idea or belief do you have about yourself that you need to become aware of. And so this is for Taurus, and I'm going to ask for one card in June 2025. That came out fast, and you have the Two of Wands in reverse. Interesting, the last reading I did, Aquarius, was the Three of Wands in reverse. And they're similar, but they're also very different. So I'll talk about that. What's the shadow aspect? So this is something that is from your childhood, from your adolescence. It's something that you've buried deep inside of you that is actually driving or impacting, and a lot of times it's preventing what it is right here that it's having the biggest impact. It's something that maybe you were told when you were younger, you know, you're not allowed to do that, or who do you think you are, or it's oftentimes a message that we got when we were younger, and it's sitting in our shadow, and that needs to be healed. So one card for that for Taurus. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And then finally, it's how can you begin to heal the shadow aspect, Taurus, so that you can move on, or maybe, you know, do what it is you want to do. And you have 2 cards, and the first one is the Hierophant in reverse, and the second one is the High Priestess. 2 very interesting. Those are 2 major arcana cards, and they're powerful cards. They are for you to pay attention to. So let's just clarify these. First of all, the Two of Wands, a couple cards for the Two of Wands. You have the Star card. Ooh, that one's, first of all, it fell out. And one more card. Here we go, the Eight of Cups in reverse. Okay, Star card and the Eight of Cups in reverse. Queen of Pentacles, couple cards for that. Came out quickly. You have the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Swords in reverse. And the Hierophant, High Priestess, couple cards here to clarify this. For Taurus. Couple cards for the Hierophant and the High Priestess. card. There we go. So you have the Two of Swords and the Nine of Swords. A lot of mental energy, right? Swords is about our mental energy and the thoughts, the things we tell ourselves, the things we hear. And let's pull an oracle card for you, and I'll read it at the end. I'll tell you what it is right now, but we'll pick it for you. And that way I'll remember to read it. There we go. Okay. Now. So, what's a belief system that you have about yourself? It's a false belief system. It's an idea. So, you know, it's usually something you were told when you were younger, and we continue to believe it. Again, you may or may not be aware of it. You get the Two of Wands in reverse, and the Two of Wands speaks about, if you look at this individual on a swing, and you know, no surprise, it's a child here. It's a young person that is holding this globe in their hand, and it's like they're dreaming, right? When we're younger, we dream up things, we imagine things, and oftentimes, believe it or not, they're the things that we are really meant to do in this lifetime. And we know when we come on this earth, 4, 5, 6 years old, we know what it is that we want to do, what we came here to do, what we were meant to do. And so right now I'm seeing that you have there's this nudge, and that's what the Two of Wands is. It's this nudge of wanting to do something, right? It's like, and it's, I believe it's something and something creative. It's something that, it could be a very small thing, but it's huge for you. Or it could be a big thing, but you know, it's probably something that you've been wanting to do for a while. You've maybe always wanted to do, but you're feeling this nudge to go in a certain direction. It could be something like taking a course. It could be, you know, anything like, oh, I think I want to change jobs, or, you know, for myself, I'm retired. I'm a retired, you know, teacher. I've taught for 30 years, and then I got this nudge to read tarot. I mean, there's a big backstory to it, but it's like, I don't know, 10 years ago, I didn't even know what tarot was. And so it's something like that, where it's like there's something stirring in you, and that's what the Two of Wands is. The Three of Wands is when you have a plan, like you've made the plan and you're about to do it. But the Two is like, oh, there's something stirring here, but I can see here it's in reverse, so it's like you're blocking it. You know, you're like, for some reason, and it's something there's this excitement right here. This is what the Star card is. Well, the Star card, there's all this excitement in you, and the Star card talks about these emotions that need healing, these emotions where we dip our toe into the water. Anytime I see water on a card, it represents emotions for me. So what's happening is like, you have all these emotions around and you don't even know what to do. I think there's this, almost like this big fear. It could be fear. It could be, you know, you're not sure. There's these, and so you just don't know what to do with it, you know. And oftentimes, if this is blocked, if there's resistance to doing it, I'm going to say that, you know, probably one of the primary emotions you're feeling right here is fear. But you're scared to go towards what it is you want to do, because these emotions are blocking it for you. And the Eight of Cups comes right behind it, and you know that there's some healing that needs to be done around this fear, or whatever it is that's blocking you from going towards this. And yet, because the Eight of Cups talks about this individual that's walking away, and he's not walking away from his emotions. He's walking away to feel those emotions. This is what I call my shadow work card, right? It's this individual that's deciding, you know what? I think I have to go and do some healing around what's blocking me from doing this nudge, or maybe you're getting the nudge to do some healing, right? It could be even that. There's a nudge of you to you know what, I think it's time for me to go back into healing. Maybe to get a therapist, or maybe just to start to look at some of these emotions that are coming up for me right now. So there's really a lot of stirring going on right now, but I feel that it's very, very blocked, almost like I can't do this, because it's a false belief that you have about yourself, like I can't do this. And oftentimes when this stirring comes about in us, we will push it back down because there's so much fear. Our ego self can kick in and go, oh, don't go there. You know, these are very scary emotions. They're going to eat you alive. And so I think there's some real emotions that are coming up for you to heal. There's something that's coming up for you to heal here. And you know, and that's what this nudge maybe is about. You know, oftentimes before we can do that next creative thing for ourselves, or that thing that we want to do, we have to work through some of the emotions of fear around it, or anything else that's associated with it. And it could be some sort of a memory that's coming up that we have to work on. So let's look at what needs healing. So what is it that needs healing that's coming up for you right now? What is this all about? What's blocking you from doing this thing that you want to do, whether it's to go off and heal, or whether, like I said, to go take a course or whatever. It's a general reading. We have the Queen of Pentacles that comes out as your main card right now, and she's in reverse. So that means she's very much blocked. There's a part of you that's blocked, and the Queen is your feminine side. And in particular, the Queen of Pentacles would be that feminine side of, you know, that part of you, and it has nothing to do with gender, by the way, because we all have a masculine and a feminine side. Our masculine is our ego self, and then we have these beautiful this feminine side, these feminine qualities. And the Pentacles is all about being grounded in you, and knowing who you are, and being comfortable in your own skin. And feminine is not afraid to feel all her emotions. And so in your shadow right now, there is very much this side of you that is ungrounded. There's a real part of you that needs to get grounded. I think when you were younger, the Wheel of Fortune is right here, sitting here. And the Wheel of Fortune talks about a change of circumstance in your life. And sometimes, you know, we can try to change these circumstances, but because this is in your shadow, this means there are things that happened to you when you were younger that would have taken you out of your body, and that really causes us to become ungrounded. And when we have things that are traumatic that happened to us when we were younger, they will cause us to become very ungrounded. And so I'm thinking here that there's definitely some emotions coming up here, and I think that's why you're feeling so, you know, scared to maybe heal or dip your toe into those emotions, is because they're bringing up, it's shaking you up here. There's something that's really wanting you to get back to, okay, what is this? What is the situation here? What's this memory here? What's going on that has caused you to be so ungrounded when you were younger? Because it's coming up again, and when it comes up for healing, it's gonna play out the same way now in your life that it did when it was younger. And you're gonna, you know, if you notice some of the synchronicities around yourself, or try to get you know, because our outer world is always a reflection of what's going on inside. And so when we can start to understand that in this healing journey, we can start to see certain signs out there in synchronicities that happen in our life that are telling us what this memory is inside of us. And you have the Ace of Swords here. That is the last card in your shadow, and it's in reverse. The sword itself, when it's by itself as an ace, it's like a gift from the universe. It's like why am I blanking out on this? It's like a gift from the universe, or it's like an offer from the universe to get back to your true self. It's the sort of authenticity of who you really are, and that got blocked. It's sitting here in your shadow. So because of this traumatic incident, maybe some sort of a memory here that's coming up for you to heal, it blocked who you really were. It blocked your true self. And I think this little nudge that you're feeling right now, Taurus, is in the direction of moving in the direction of finding out who you really are, what you're meant to do. And this is what this whole Eight of Cups is about too, right? That you're kind of feeling this nudge. It's a nudge that's kind of wanting you to go in that direction. There's some healing here that needs to be done in order for you to go in that direction. And oftentimes, once we heal this, well, oftentimes this is what happens. Once we do this healing that we're being nudged to heal here, the clarity will come in. You'll know exactly what to do. It's almost like, oh my God, now I can do it, right? Now I can do it. Once I've worked through this, it's like, it's no problem. The fear seems to go away, and it's like, I can do this now. But you got to do the healing. And so how can you begin to heal the shadow aspect of yourself, you know? Whatever it was, whatever this situation, this change of circumstance that happened to you, where you became ungrounded, and you sort of lost your way, like who you really are. And so you need a little bit of advice from the tarot here. And so the advice from the tarot is, well, you need to look at, first of all, the Hierophant card, a powerful card. Like I said, you have two major arcana cards here. A Hierophant card is the card that really puts into question for us, how are you wired when you were younger? There's something here that has to do with a belief system you have. What were you wired to believe? Because there's a real block here that you need to look at. What were you wired to believe about this Two of Wands card, this direction you want to go in for yourself? What sort of things are you hearing in your head? What were you wired to believe? Because right behind it is fascinating, is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess, another major arcana card, she's the card, and she is one of the two feminine cards, feminine energy cards, archetypal cards in the major arcana. She's the first one. The second one is the Empress, number 3. She's the first card of the feminine energy. She represents our intuition, those things that are hidden, those things, that inner guidance of ours, right? Because this is what you are wired to believe, but this intuition card wants to come in here. It's like, what's your gut saying? What were you told? How are you wired? What is your gut saying here? That's your inner guidance. That's your inner knowing. And the universe is trying to get you to start to follow. Okay, what is your gut saying? That's what you need to go towards. The Two of Swords is a clarifier, first clarifier here. And the Two of Swords is this individual that's sitting here. And they're like, they have this choice to make. They're indecisive, and I think this is you. You're sitting here and you're going, I am so caught up in my head. I've got this blindfold here. I've had these Two of Swords. It's like, I don't know which sword to choose, and they're the exact same sword, but you don't realize it when you're sitting in that place where it's like, I am so much up in my head right now, and I just don't know what to do or where to go. And I think this is why there's such a call for you to get back into your body, get in touch with your inner guidance, your intuition. Because right now you're pretty much stuck up in your head, right? I talked about the sword energy of being really stuck up in your head. I think there's a real call for you, I'm going to say, to get grounded into your body. We often forget that we have a body. We get so stuck up in our ego self head, who we think is us. We're convinced that it's us. You know, our ego self is a very scared part. And so they can really scare us. And they can really repeat a lot of these messages that you were given to when you were younger, and they'll continue to repeat them in your head, and it's not you. And the last thing here is the Nine of Swords that comes out, another sword card. In this case, this Nine of Swords is this individual that's being woken up in the middle of the night. Maybe that's you. I know when there's a memory coming up for me, my ego self will wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It'll prevent me from going to sleep. You can get nightmares, and you can, so start paying attention to your dreams, write them down. I've started to do that because there's often themes that will come up with them. What are they telling you? And this card in particular tells me that there's a memory coming up, right? So there's definitely a memory for you, Taurus, that is very much associated with whatever it is you want to do, but there's emotions that are also associated with that memory that you need to work through. And once you've got to that memory, once you've figured it out, once you've processed those memories, once you've got to it, it's like, oh, this is why, this is what's preventing me from moving forward. And your next step will become so clear once you've worked through that and got to that memory and worked through the emotions with it. All right. And so what is the last card here, Taurus, for you? It's called Frequency Shift. Fascinating. This is, I think, maybe where this Two of Wands is trying to take you. A frequency shift. So what is the last message here? You are about to experience a shift in your frequency. And this card comes to help prepare you for the upcoming event. Being ready and knowing what to expect can help you to get through the transitional period. A frequency shift occurs when the soul is ready for the next part of its journey. However, this does not mean that our human consciousness is necessarily ready. We're going to be very blocked, like I said, or the things that alter during this period can be difficult to endure, but you will make it through and be much better for it. Most often when this shift begins, we will experience depression or a feeling of needing to withdraw from the world. And that's the Eight of Cups card. Usually there are events that take place just before the shift which cause a need to step back from the world. And I said you did need to get grounded. I'm going to leave you with a playlist about that because I think it's time for you to retreat and get grounded because there's a memory here. It is during this specific part of the transition that it feels difficult to relate to other people. Your path and purpose may feel as though they have vanished. You are left questioning everything you have done and worked toward up to this point in your life. Basically, everything will get shut down. The intuitive faculties will also take a hit. It may seem that your connection with spirit has been completely severed. The guidance you once received will be silent. This happens because your energetic engine is getting a complete overhaul and it cannot be left running while it happens. But just note that once complete, your connection will be stronger than ever. More than likely, you will also have a new team of guides working with you. So this is so you can bring through these higher energies in whatever work you do. You will be more focused on your purpose and doing the work of spirit than ever before. And like I said, once you get through this memory, once you get through these emotions, Taurus, there's going to be clarity here, and that's where the shift is going to come for you, right? That's that Two of Wands. You're feeling the nudge. Maybe it's the energy shift. It's like, it's another direction. We do this journey in little steps, but before we move to our next step, there's always something that we have to heal, and that's how it works. So, take care, Taurus, and I'll talk to you next month. Bye-bye.